main papers this morning. You're watching BBC News. Police in France are investigating a suspected break-in at the home of Anna Ferretti, the woman who is alleged to have stolen love letters written by Diana, Princess of Wales, to James Hewitt. Last week, Miss Ferretti, who'd been engaged to Major Hewitt, was arrested and questioned by police in this country investigating the alleged theft of the letters. In a separate development, Major Hewitt, who was the princess's former lover, issued a statement through his solicitors insisting he had never attempted to sell the letters Diana had written to him during their affair. But that statement came after a Sunday newspaper did accuse him of trying to sell the letters for £5 million. Football, and Arsenal will play Newcastle in the final of the FA Cup following the weekend's semi-finals. Arsenal beat Wolves 1-0 with a goal from Christopher Wray in the 12th minute at Villa Park. Newcastle won by the same score against Sheffield United. Alan Shearer, the England captain, was the goal scorer in the 60th minute at Old Trafford in Manchester. And in the Scottish FA Cup, Rangers will meet Hearts in the final. That follows Rangers' 2-1 semi-final win over Celtic at Celtic Park. That loss by Celtic wrecked the side's hopes of a remarkable treble this season. In France rugby team have won Europe's Five Nations Rugby Union Championship for the second year running after a record-breaking win against Wales at Wembley Stadium in London. France scored 7 tries in the 51-0 victory. It's the first time they've won back-to-back championships.
The Welsh again colonised Wembley, and in return, many Englishmen adopted Wales, cheering for the Welsh win, which would see the championship return to Twickenham. But the support of 2 countries was to prove no match for the rugby of 1. Jean-Luc Saldoni scoring France's first try after only 3 minutes, and before Wales had even touched the ball. It set the tone for a rout and one of the finest displays ever seen by a French team. Bernard Sal's blindside vision soon setting up Sardini for his second. The game was over, but the entertainment wasn't, largely thanks to the brilliance of Thomas Castagnered. This dash of colour, unlucky not to produce a try. The second half saw more of the same, the Welsh defence here irrelevant as Garbajosa slipped through. And even the French substitutes looked a class apart, replacement scrum half Fabien Galtier scoring in the dying minutes. The French had stormed Wembley, winning back-to-back Grand Slams for the first time in history, and handing Wales a thrashing, which starkly highlights the growing divide within the Five Nations. Ben Munro-Davis, BBC News.
Cricket, and the West Indies have won the one-day series against England in the Caribbean. With 1 match left to play, they've taken an unassailable 3-1 lead in the best-of-5 series. They beat England for the second time in 2 days on Sunday. The tourists managed just 149 in their 50 overs in St Vincent. Adam Holyoke top scoring with just 23. The West Indies won by 4 wickets, reaching 150 with more than 12 overs to spare. Clayton Lambert and Brian Lara both scored half-centuries. The winning runs came from byes. Tennis, and World Group newcomers Zimbabwe caused the shock of the Davis Cup first round in London. They inflicted a humiliating 3-2 defeat of Australia in a tie marked by acrimony and controversy. Meanwhile, cup holders Sweden pulled off an amazing comeback against Slovakia, coming from 2-0 down to win 3-2. The longest suspension bridge in the world has opened to traffic in Japan. The Akashi Bridge is almost 4 kilometers long, and it's part of a highway linking Kobe on Japan's main island of Honshu to Shikoku in the south. It's been strengthened to survive extreme weather and earthquakes.
At a time of financial uncertainty bordering on crisis, it's a rare chance for Japan to show off its economic prowess. The stock markets may well take another tumble on Monday, but for the moment, it's time to celebrate. The Akashi Bridge will go down in the record books as the largest suspension bridge in the world, at almost 4 kilometers long. It's not only the biggest suspension bridge in the world, it's also had to be built in an area subject to hurricane-force winds and earthquakes. Work was halted in 1995 during the Kobe earthquake, but started again a month later with no major design changes. The bridge can cope, say the engineers, with earthquakes measuring up to